Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits, so get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Bianca Vega, and Bianca is Assistant Head of School at Santa Barbara Middle School. Welcome, Bianca.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and to share a little bit about our gem of a school, Santa Barbara Middle School.
It is a gem. Everybody I talk to, they just rave about Santa Barbara Middle School.
Well, that's so nice to hear. We really do have an amazing community of students, families, faculty, and staff, and I love to hear that feedback.
Yeah. So, middle school. First of all, let's talk about what in the world does middle school mean, and why do we have such a thing?
That's a really great question. And, I'd love to kind of dive into a little bit of a deeper topic in the sense of, we are a middle school. We're 6th through 9th grade, and we serve about 180 students. Our 6th grade is a little bit on the smaller side. We're about 30 students. 7th and 8th are a little bit bigger with around 60, maybe 65 students. And then our 9th grade returns to about 30. But why middle school? And that's really kind of at the heart of who we are. We feel that middle school is an opportunity. It's a time in a student's life where they're really figuring out who they are, what their passions are. And we like to think that we specialize in those years. These are really critical developmental years. It's when a student is starting to push maybe their family away a little bit, but really getting closer to friends. And we feel like that's a unique opportunity for us to help shape kind of who they're becoming and help set them on a positive path. So that's middle school. It's a crazy time, and it's a really fun time in our students' lives.
Yeah, it is a crazy time. and you're recognizing that and taking advantage of it so that you can help that student create a good, positive future for themselves.
That's right. And part of that is academics. We really specialize in our academic program. We're a project-based learning program, and we want students to approach every class that they take with a growth mindset. So that's a lot of, research coming out of Stanford University from Carol Dweck. We like to think about, you maybe just haven't learned it yet. So a lot of times you might hear students say, oh, I'm not a math person, or I'm not good at writing. And we like to say, we're just working on it. You just haven't learned it yet. And that's really something that we're hoping that we can help them so that when they enter the high school, they're ready. They're ready for whatever high school they may choose, whether it's here in Santa Barbara. We have a lot of amazing high schools here. We have a lot of amazing academies within the public high schools, the independent high schools. We want to make sure that they're ready for that. And that academic path that we can set them on is really important.
And those small classrooms or classes, number of kids in the classes, that's also very beneficial.
It's huge. We're able to have a class size of anywhere from, let's say, 13 up to maybe 20, 22. We really try to keep our class sizes small for that reason, that we can provide them with, the learning opportunities that they need, whether it's, helping close any gaps or challenge them to meet the next expectation. We have a really unique math program. It's an untethered math program. And what I mean by that is that we like to not say you're in 7th grade math. We like to say, where are you, and can we put you in a group? Maybe you're a 6th grade student in 7th grade math. Maybe you're a 7th grade student attacking some 9th grade math. We really want to meet you where you're at and challenge you appropriately.
So in order to know where to put that student, you have to do a lot of evaluation. And so it's very individually focused.
That's right. And actually, we moved probably about 5 years ago to a new assessment program called the MAP. And the MAP test, what it does is it measures academic progress, growth. So this idea that you don't need to be bound by standards or limitations within your grade level. So the MAP test can show us students' abilities all the way up to the 12th grade, and maybe also show us a few gaps that need to be closed before they enter the next grade level.
Wow. So the teachers that teach there, let's say somebody comes and says, oh, I think I want to teach at Santa Barbara Middle School. I bet you take them through quite a bit of training and sort of readjustment to their mindset.
That's right, absolutely. So one thing that we find really important for our students is cultivating relationships. It's all about making connections. So these small class sizes, our teachers and staff and faculty, they will be going on all of our outdoor ed trips with us students. So when we're looking for teachers, we're looking for people who are passionate inside the classroom, passionate about these middle school years, these teenage years, and also people who are familiar with the outdoor program. So one aspect of Santa Barbara Middle School is we take students on anywhere from 20 to 25 days of outdoor experiences, which is it's a really unique part of our program, and it's one where we can really cultivate those relationships and those connections with the students. So these 25 nights, we have about 3 trips a year, one in fall, one in March, and one at the end of the year. We also have one overnight at the very beginning of the year, our orientation ride. And for the most part, these trips are based in mountain biking, some kayaking, and we're camping while we do it. So when we're looking for teachers, we're looking for some comfort in the outdoors, maybe some comfort on the bike. That being said, you brought up the word training. We will always, help teachers get prepared for the year. We offer our students a bike camp during the summer, and we'll encourage our new hires to join that bike camp as well. This is my 6th year at Santa Barbara Middle School, and I like to think back on that first year when I started and I joined a bike camp learning, okay, how do you mountain bike? And what do you need to do when you're with a group of students and you're out on the road mountain biking? And we do wilderness first aid, wilderness first responder training.
Sure.
We are all lifeguard trained, water safety trained. So these are important parts of our program where we train our teachers, and we also look for that when we're hiring.
Yeah. So outdoor education, it sounds like you have a real focus on that, which is pretty unusual for a school, isn't it?
That's right. When you look at the school year, when you break down curriculum and objectives and goals, you might feel bound to, ooh, that's a lot of time spent out of the classroom. And one of our philosophies is that learning happens everywhere you go. And so when we're outside of the classroom, let's take our 9th grade islands trip, for example. Around September, our 9th graders will head out to the Channel Islands, and they live on a boat for about a week and talk about bringing education to life and real world applications. We'll have experts join them. Our teachers will talk about their expertise, and we'll be living and seeing it while we're out there. The kids will go kayaking, they'll go snorkeling, they'll have just also a lot of fun jumping in the water and hanging out, and again, making those connections with their teachers.
I love that. Yeah, learning happens everywhere. That's an important message for the young people to hear.
That's right. And one of the things that I think is so important about that is we can find opportunities to teach everywhere we go. And it was actually really neat. The other day I was in our garden. We have a lovely garden, and we've turned it into a little bit of an academic space. There's a whiteboard in there now. And I saw some math up there that was about our trip. How many miles did we bike, and how many did we average per day on the trip? And that also brings the learning to life, is applying it when we get to use it in the outdoor education program.
Bringing the learning to life. That is so great. I was skiing not too long ago and riding up on the chairlift with a couple, and they said they brought their son along with them, and they had to go through all these gyrations to get the son out of the classroom to be able to come with them. And I remember the parents saying, he can learn just as much here.
That's right.
As he can sitting in a classroom, and so good for you.
And it's not only just academic things that they can learn, right? So it's interesting that you brought up skiing, because we just piloted a March trip that went cross-country skiing, which is really neat. And one thing that we find taking students into the outdoors, there's so many academic applications that you can make, but there's also this wonderful connection with nature, a reset. When we think about our students today, their mental health, their mental needs, we want to make sure that they're connecting with nature and helping get, that vitamin D from the sun or the opportunity to just play and be outside. That's really important to us. And I will also say, we also challenge them on these outdoor ed trips. Our expeditions aren't easy. We'll be climbing some mountains and we're climbing them together. And there's a little bit of that shared adversity that really brings us together that I love. I'll be up there and I'm pushing my bike up and I'll be looking right next to me and there's a 6th grade student whose bike maybe weighs more than them, and we're kind of looking at each other like, this is tough and we can do this.
And we're doing it.
And we're doing it, with this idea that we can do hard things. And, we also love this idea of grit. Again, it kind of goes back to that growth mindset, we can do it. And the sense of accomplishment that someone can feel when they get to the top of the mountain or finish the ride. It's really special to see in the middle school the transformation from 6th grade to 9th grade. I'm thinking back to a trip. We do this one bike ride in the fall, and it includes the whole group on Friday. And there was one called the Sea Canyon ride. And it's a long uphill. And I was thinking about one year when I had a student in 6th grade, and she was just, struggling up that mountain. And it was tough, and she made it, and she did great, and she was really proud of herself. But what was really neat was in 9th grade, I think she took maybe 3 hours plus in 6th grade. She made it up in 49 minutes in 9th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, and she said that. She turned to me and she goes, "Can you believe how much faster I am?" And I said, "I believe it," and so that feeling like, oh, no matter what's set in front of me, I can do it.
Yeah.
And what's really great about our 9th grade program, we like to think of it as leadership. And she was able to help other people get up that mountain, right? So it's not even this idea, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's also, I can do it and I can help someone else at the same time.
That's an important lesson.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're building resilience in these young people.
That's right. That's one of our main goals, is to build resilience. We want our students to be lifelong learners. We also want them to be able to trust themselves and have the confidence in themselves to know that they can face challenges that will be set in front of them. Because as we know, life can throw some curveballs your way. It's never a straight line. And we want to make sure our students are prepared for anything that comes their way.
Yeah. So learning to trust themselves, that is so important.
Yeah, it really is. We look for students when we're in the application process. We look for students who are on grade level, who are curious, but really who are willing to try new things and just put themselves out there. And through going through our program, they really develop that self-confidence and that self-trust. I can do this, whether it's in the classroom. One thing we hear from high school teachers is they say, we can spot a middle school student. They're usually the ones to come up to us and ask for help or introduce themselves. So that self-advocacy too is part of it.
Yes.
Trust who you are, trust what you can do, and then also be able to speak up for yourself or for someone else when you need to.
Oh gosh, that is so encouraging.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you sort of, I don't know if you use the word evaluate, but you evaluate the students to determine if that's a good fit, as well as the teachers.
That's right. Yeah. We have a very rigorous admissions process.
Okay.
And we love to look for students who are going to be the right fit. We're fortunate here in Santa Barbara. There are a lot of great schools here, both private and public. And our independent school, we do have the opportunity to look at applicants when they're coming into 6th grade or 7th grade, sometimes even 8th grade. And we're looking for students who are curious, who really want to try something new. We're going to offer them lots of opportunities to find a passion. We have a huge array of electives. We can offer knitting or pickleball or beach volleyball for them to really, be able to pick what suits them and what interests them. So we want to look for students who have that curiosity, that willingness to try something new. And we're also looking for kindness. That's a really big piece for us. I said that these middle school years are unique. Developmentally, it's also a time for them to maybe push some boundaries. But at the root of it all, we are looking for kind students, students who are inclusive, who promote this idea of belonging, who are welcoming to others, and let everyone show up as their true and authentic self, however that might be.
That is so great. Wow. So another kind of, impression I get from Santa Barbara Middle School is that you're very community focused and encourage that in the students as well.
That's right. Community is huge for us, and we try to provide many opportunities for our community to come together. One way we do that is every Friday we have a Friday town meeting. We like to invite speakers from the community in to talk to our students from any organizations. Right now we have a really big focus on sustainability. We have one student who's really championed. He brought this idea to me. He said, I really think we need this environmental awareness education at our school. Let me find a teacher who's willing to partner with me. And one of our 6th and 9th grade science teachers jumped right in. And they have been doing a lot to present to our student body every Friday about sustainability tips. And they're bringing in experts to speak to us, which is great. So that's one aspect of how we include community. And then within our community also, every Friday morning, you're going to find us at Ledbetter Beach. We do what's called a sunrise swim. So people can join us, alumni, family members. There is a little bit of an incentive with some donuts and coffee down there and hot chocolate. That gets people up in the morning willing to jump and brave the cold waters. But it is a special opportunity for us to circle up and be together. And circling up is a really big part of our school, our traditions. We like to, on those outdoor ed expeditions, every night we're going to circle up around our campfire and we're going to share some appreciations with one another. Who helped you get up that mountain? Let's put their name into our fire. What teacher saw you and maybe handed you a little bit of a gummy bear or a little treat to give you that extra kick, or whatever it might be. It's important to us to honor one another and come together to circle up, to be in community with one another. And I think that really resonates with our students and our families and our faculty and staff. I can speak for myself where I feel like I could call up our head of school right now and say, hey, will you help me move into my new home? Or, and he'd be there. It's that type of group where there is a lot of love, a lot of trust, and a lot of care for one another.
That is so great. So now I didn't know that Santa Barbara Middle School is actually a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
That's right. And so we are actually about to host our auction coming up. And anyone who's open to donating or wanting to, they can visit our website, www.sbms.org.
SBMS.
That's right. Yeah. Please visit our website, get to know us and what we do. And there you'll find any information if you're interested in donating.
Yeah. And if you're interested in having your child go and want to know what the admission process is, and if you want to make a financial donation, it would be tax deductible, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
You've got a donate button there.
We do. Absolutely. But, most importantly for us is, just take a look, get to know us, what we do. We invite everyone into our community. We would love any collaborations to happen. People are welcome to come speak at our Friday town meetings. Share what you've got going on at your organization. We collaborate with a lot of the independent schools and the public schools. I think it's important that we share resources, share information, and just really promote the wellness of all of our youth here in Santa Barbara.
Oh, Bianca, what important work you are doing.
Thank you so much. It's work that I love. So
yes, I can see that. And thanks for coming on our show to share it with our audience, our listeners.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.